No, you can totally ask a question.
Okay. I met somebody from Italy, and she wants me to send her some information, like a website. Would I just direct her to the normal It Works website, or would there be a specific website for international?
Probably just our normal website. When she goes to it, it'll ask what what country she's in.
Okay.
Then it'll pull up everything, like all the pricing and everything for her. So that's probably going to be the easiest way for you to get her the information she needs. So.
Okay, thanks.
Sound good? Okay,
yeah,
guys, we'll get started. You're fine. I'm just pretty much going to kind of go through just like the notes that I've taken. I've gotten some notes from other leaders too. We're just going to kind of go through them. And then those of you that came with us, Julie and Megan, if you guys have anything to add to each of the sections, I'll have you guys add those too. So, because each of us take away different things from events like this. And so I think it's perfect that we can do things like this where we can all kind of chime in and have discussions about it. Hold on. Sorry, I'm like using both computers because my notes are on my computer. Okay. So for me, the first thing that I kind of started taking notes on was when Joel and Stephanie Dunn were talking. And they, if you guys don't know who they are the newest Black Diamonds in our company. So they make over $100,000 every month, which seems crazy, but they're pretty incredible. They used to be standing in food lines. They pretty much had nothing when they started at work. So they have a pretty incredible story. If you haven't heard their story, look them up on YouTube because it's pretty awesome. Something that they said that I think stood out to me and that stood out to a lot of people was to fail your way to success. All of these top leaders, they weren't successful all the time. They had to try different things. They had to find what worked best for them. And they had to keep going even when things were tough, So I think that's something that I loved that they said. And they said it's easier to go from failure to success than quitting to success. So things might get hard, but it's going to be better if you just keep pushing, even though it is, hard and things are maybe not going the way you want, they really emphasized not quitting and just pushing and just trying your hardest. So did either of you guys get anything else from Joel and Stephanie that you guys wanted to share? Julie or Megan?
Yeah, I remember Stephanie saying is that when always trying to get a distributor. So when she's talking to someone about the loyal customer program, she's always telling them that for $40 more, you can become a distributor. So in her mind, she's always thinking that they're going to be a distributor. I'm pushing for them to be a distributor, but worst case scenario, they'll be a loyal customer. And she said that just remembering to add that $40 was huge.
For sure. Well, and a lot of people, I think, don't realize that, it's only $40 more, and they can be making money off of that. So, yeah. Megan, did you have anything else that you wanted to add to that?
Yeah, mostly just the fail the way to the top. They have their Black Diamond experience video that they showed on the It Works YouTube channel. So I would suggest going and watching that, and the other one, Denise Walsh, as well, because they're both really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's just, keep going, go for the no's because you only need a couple of yeses. To keep going for the no's and just trying it, and if you fail, then just keep failing your way to the top. So basically what you said.
Yeah, awesome. So the next thing that they kind of highlighted was the system, and with the new product being in the system, they went over quite a bit of it, but I don't want to go super into depth with it because a lot of the information is in your eSuite, so I'm not going to go super into depth. The biggest thing with the system is they said to keep it consistent. You guys need to all be doing the system too, unless if for some reason you can't health-wise. I think we all need to be on the system. Showing people, you know, being a product of the product is going to show everybody what these products actually do. I know for me, when I first started, when I finally decided to share my results and what the products had done for me, that was when my business really exploded and people actually believed me because they were my results, not some random corporate picture, you know. I mean, until you have your own, obviously use those pictures, but really, if you can, be a product of the product and give it a try. Something that I love about the system is that it's simple and we can market it to both men and women. Like, it's not just like for one or the other. It's something that is, you know, it has the 3 steps and that's it, which, I mean, that kind of goes around along with our business model too, you know, like there's just 3 things that they need to do. So it's not like, okay, you need to take these supplements and you need to do this and you need to do that and that. You know, they just need to do those 3 things. So I think it makes it easy. I know for me, like there's been times I'm like, okay, I'm going to hit all the products hard and I get overwhelmed with taking all of them or, you know. So I feel like when this came out, it seemed doable for me. It wasn't like this like 6 months of crap, you know, to hopefully get some results. So that's something that I really like is that it's simple and it's not this really hard thing to do. Something that they said in regards to you using the products was make yourself a priority. Yes, this business is important and you need to push hard for this business, but you still need to take care of yourself too. So, you know, make yourself a priority and do those things. Like the system, I feel like is something easy that shouldn't occupy too much of, you know, your mind, that you can throw it in while you're, you know, with the business and it's not this huge lifestyle change. You know, I mean, there are things that you do have to change, but it's not like you're eating like 500 calories a day, you know? So I feel like it's something that we can work into our daily, you know, routine without throwing things off too much and taking away from, you know, the business. And let's see what else I had. In regards to the system as well, they brought out Luis Maharis, and he actually formulated the wraps. And he talked a lot about making sure that people are drinking their water, making sure you're drinking your water, you know, to flush those toxins, keep your skin hydrated. He said that having dry skin makes the wrap so it doesn't work as well. So even starting out with dry skin, you know, starting out with hydrated skin is going to help you more than starting out with dry skin. So making sure you're hydrated before is really good. Obviously, if somebody's like, oh, I haven't drinking any water today, you should still wrap them. But, you know, for us as distributors where we know, you know, staying hydrated, I mean, staying hydrated in health terms is super important anyway, and it's something we should all be doing anyway. But I think just it's a good reminder for everybody. And he also talked a little bit about wrapping different areas. And ever since I started, there's been, you know, different like, oh, you can only do this area and this area at a time. And he didn't say any of that. The only thing he said was if you wrap different areas, you're going to take results, you know, your results are going to spread out. So you're not going to see as awesome results on your stomach if you're wrapping, you know, your stomach and your arms. You know, it's going to split between the two. So I personally have always just told somebody, like, choose one area and do a full treatment on that area, and then move to the next area and get the results you want. So that's something, you know, if people ask, that's something you can tell them. You know, they just aren't going to see as good of results on that one area if they're wrapping another area too. So, after they kind of talked about the wrap, they brought out Dr. Dawn and talked about the remove and the reboot part of the system. And with remove, they've added the cleanse, and a little bit about the cleanse. You guys can, if you log into your eSuite, there's a ton of information about it. So I don't want to go super deep into it, but you just take it. So it's a 2-day cleanse, which I feel like is awesome because most cleanses I've heard about are like weeks long or even like days, and all you drink for those days is whatever the cleanse is, like you don't eat anything, you don't. So I'm actually excited. I've always wanted to do a cleanse, but never wanted to not eat for a week long. So I'm excited to try it. But so basically you drink one before breakfast and one before dinner for 2 days in a row. And for those 2 days, you want to try and eat as healthy as you can, like removing the bad fats, the bad carbs. They're not saying starve yourself. They're just saying eat healthy. It's going to help the cleanse work better for you. They had a few distributors that actually tried it secretly. They couldn't tell anybody about it, what it was, anything. And they said that it's a really gentle one. It wasn't like they didn't have any bad side effects, anything like that. They said it tastes pretty good. And something they said that with the cleanse is that it'll supercharge your remove for days. And then they said that the average American carries around like 5 to 10 pounds in their GI tract. So that's why cleansing is so important, so that we can get all of that out. Not only to lose weight, but just to keep our bodies healthy. So I'm kind of excited that they added it to it. It totally shocked me. It's not what I had anything, I didn't think anything in that regards to a new product, but I think it'll be great. And I'm excited to use it. But if you guys go to your eSuite and click on the system, there's actually a document you can download that goes through, it tells you all of suggested things to eat while you're on the cleanse. And I actually looked at it last night, and it's really cool because it says okay, instead of eating this, eat this, and instead of eating this, eat this. So it kind of gives you a good guideline of things you should be eating while you're on the cleanse. And I looked at it, and it's really not that bad. It's really just choosing the healthier option, white versus wheat, stuff like that. So go check that out because it's going to, sorry. It's going to give you a little bit more information. I don't want to go full into depth because I know you guys all have that resource. What was I going to tell you? And then Reboot is, the greens. And that's about all I have on the system. Did you guys, Megan, Casey, Julie, did you guys, Walker, he's so cute. I can't. Did you guys pick up anything else from the system that I didn't cover that you feel like is important for everybody to know?
No, I think you covered everything. I like that list of foods to take out and stuff. That'll be helpful for sure.
Yeah.
And just the results that we're getting were amazing just off of the 1 month. That was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Did you think of anything else, Megan?
Yeah. Because you said you store a bunch in your GI tract. And so they said that all the toxins get trapped there, and that's what makes you bloated and sluggish.
Mm-hmm.
So it just helps to clear those out so that you can then absorb the good nutrients again.
Yeah.
And they said it tastes kind of lemony, kind of peppery.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see what it tastes like. Okay, so the next thing that they talked about was events. And those of us that went can tell you how important it is to go to events, but until you've been to one, it's hard to know kind of what we're talking about. All I can say is that you need to do whatever you can to get to events, whether it's, even if it's just a wrap party, if it's a one team, one mission. This year they are doing, so a few things that they're doing a week-long green carpet event this year. So they'll do 2 back-to-back days again like they did last year because it's going to sell out. So they're going to do the same thing kind of, and then the rest of the week they'll kind of do different, I don't know exactly what they're doing. They said it'll be fun. They'll announce that at the beginning of April. They'll announce days and location and all that stuff. So my guess, I could be totally wrong, but in the past they've always done it in July. So start planning. That's going to be the next biggest event until like conference next year. But they're also doing the It Works U's again, like they did last year. And that's a 2-day event. The first night is a VIP night. It's a training with Mark for triples and up. So if you're triple and up, you can go that night. And then the next day is like a 5-hour training. And I went last year, I went to the Phoenix one, and I was actually shocked at how like in depth of a training it was. It was actually really good. I enjoyed going. So I'm trying to think who else on here. I think everybody that's on here, the closest is the Phoenix one. Alexis, where do you live?
In Colorado.
Okay. So yeah, well, you're kind of in between. There's one in Texas and one in Phoenix. The Texas one is March, I believe. Is that right?
Okay.
Yes. And then the Phoenix one is in May. And if you can get to one of those, it's going to be super important. It'll be worth the trip to go. Promise. And then something that he said about events was that shift happens at events. And it's, I can tell in my team every time that my team has gone because my E-suite changes. My volume goes up. Everybody's working harder. There's something about events that just kind of, yes, it's motivating, but it's nice to be around people who are doing the same thing that you're doing, that believe in you, and it's nice to learn about all this stuff too. Every time I go, I learn something new, even when I listen to the same thing over and over. I've heard the Party Pad I don't know how many times, and every time I hear it, I hear something different or a new way to say something. So it's definitely, you can definitely never go to too many events. Oh, and he said, you are not designed to do this business by yourself, and that there's power at events. And just like I was saying, like, it's nice to be around, people who are doing the same things as you. And something that I really loved that he said was, if you're having a bad day, going to a wrap party, a One Team One Mission, going to wrap somebody, it's the best day to go and do those things. If you're having a bad day, you need to get out and do something like that. And he said, if you're having a good day, that event needs you there. Somebody at that event needs you. So there's never a time that you shouldn't want to go to an event, even if you don't feel like you need to, or you feel like you know enough. That event either needs you or you need the event. So events are, when I first started, about 3 months into the business, I guess it was about a month into the business, they announced conference, and I was like, I am not flying to Florida. I'm not spending all this money to go. I know plenty about this company. Like, I don't need to go. And then a couple months later, after one of my team trainings, we had, I don't even remember how many people we had. We had like 50 people there. And I just had this feeling like I have this team that's counting on me to be their leader. I should probably go and just see what it's like. And I was completely blown away. Even when I got there, I was still kind of like, okay, I don't know, but I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain. I don't know. You guys probably feel the same, those of you that went. It's hard to explain what events do to you unless if you've been. But it definitely gives you, I always come back recharged. For me, that first year, I came back believing in our company. And believing that they weren't here to screw me over. I kind of was like not secretly waiting, but like I kind of was just waiting for something bad to happen, or for them to be like, oh, sorry, we're not going to pay you this month. Or, I didn't fully believe that they were a legit company, So for me, it was good to see, corporate in action and see their hearts and how much they love their distributors, and that's why they do that. They're there for us. They're not just there to benefit from themselves. So I personally, that's been something for me that's been huge with events, is just really seeing the company and seeing, what they're all about, and just being proud to be a part of that. And obviously learning stuff is always great too, but I love that we're a part of something that's awesome. Do you, Megan, Casey, or Amy, have anything about events that you guys want to share?
I think you covered most of it. It's like on Facebook, like on the It Works page, you know, it posted like that, like Mark and Cindy went by and touched each chair and like prayed over every single person that was there. And like, so when you go, like you can totally feel that love that they have, that like they are praying for everybody in the company, and you know, they care about us.
Right. Julie, you and Holly and Angela can pipe in too. Sorry, I only saw like a few people, so I thought there was like 3 of us in here, but there's lots more. So anybody can pipe in if they want.
I think
Anybody else?
different, like how anybody can do it. Like there's so many different types of people, and all of them have been super successful with it. So it's not just like a certain type of person or personality. There's some people that are super outgoing and some that are like introverts, and they all have made it work. So
I can say something about not going to events because I couldn't go this year because of my pregnancy, but it felt different. So my husband even said the same thing. It was just different this year for me. So getting to events is huge.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, and you've been before, so you know what it's like to go, and now you know what it's like to not go. So
yep, we'll be there next year for sure.
Amy, did you have something you wanted to share?
Yeah, I think it's also good for me. Like, it keeps me going, you know, like, because you always have in your business, they're kind of a little bit slower, a little bit down. And it just reminds me, like, why I'm doing this. And it reminds me of my why and, like, the bigger picture of it, you know, like, what the company's goals are and, like, that they've got our back in things. And, you know, it just keeps me reminded of what's important when we get super busy with the everyday life, you know?
Right. Yes. Anybody else have anything to share about events? No? Okay. So we'll go on. So have you guys all downloaded the new app? Or seen that we have a new app? So if you haven't, go to apps.itworks.com, and it's awesome. So I'm going to kind of show you. Hopefully you can see it on my phone. So this app isn't just for distributors. It's actually for loyal customers too. And this is something that I think is great. So when you wrap somebody, you want them to download the app. So they're going to download it, and it's going to look like this. Sorry, hopefully you guys can kind of see it. It's going to look like this. And something that they said you guys need to start doing too is writing your distributor ID number on your Blitz cards, making sure that your customers have your distributor ID number. So that's going to be important with the app. So when they pull up the app, they're going to put in your ID number right here, and it's going to link them to you. So then they're going to come here, and it asks them, do you already have a wrap? And if they do, they can push yes, let's wrap. And if not, they say no, give me one. So if you're wrapping them, so it's going to walk them through the wrap process. So something that I love about this is that, you know, if somebody buys wraps from you, you tell them to download this, and this is going to tell them exactly what they need to do to wrap. I feel like there's been times in this business that I wish I could be there wrapping them, because I feel like they're not doing it right, or they're missing a step, and really I don't feel like it's that difficult, but this is going to make them take their pictures. I mean, obviously it's not going to make them, but it's going to remind them that they need to. And it's just better way to make sure that they are getting all the steps. So this says, let's get your before pictures, choose the area you want to wrap, take a front shot, take a side shot. So they're going to click snap it, and the camera is going to pull up. So they're going to click a picture, and they can click it as many times as they need to. If they don't like that picture, they can redo it. And then they're going to go to the next one. And I've got a friend coming in. And they'll click the side picture. So it'll say like front and side, and it has before on it, so we know that it's before and after. London, you need to go to bed.
I've noticed that the app doesn't let you turn your pictures, so you have to take them the right way.
Oh, okay.
Just so you know.
Good to know. Haven't tried that. So then once they get to here, it's going to say, take it out, put it on, and see results. And mine's not loading right now, but there's a little YouTube video that pops up. Mine's spinning. Go find Daddy, okay? Tell everybody hi and then go to bed. So they can watch that little video. And then it says, they'll click I'm wrapped, and a timer is going to start. My app is like freaking out. It's not liking my.
You know, I couldn't get the video to load up on mine either. Did anybody else have that problem?
I haven't. This is the first time I've gotten this far in the app because I haven't.
Mine came out with an update yesterday.
Did it?
And it said it fixed the like connecting to YouTube bug or something like that.
Oh,
So
Okay.
I haven't tried it today, but that may have been the
Okay.
problem.
Cool. So, so after that, it's going to set a timer, and then it's going to actually send them push notifications to drink their water. And then at the end, after 45 minutes, it actually whistles at them, and then it tells them to take their after pictures. So I'm excited about it. I feel like it's going to be something good, especially for those, customers that are out of state that, we can't personally wrap. And even for our new distributors, that we can't personally be there with too. I think it's going to be a great business tool for us. Yeah, and I think hopefully there aren't too many bugs in it, but hopefully if there are a few, they'll get that worked out. The next thing they talked about was parties, and there were a ton of really good tips on parties. They talked about the 5... Got like a monkey on my back. Okay, you can sit here, but you have to hold still and not be crazy. Okay, thank you. So they talked about the 5 fundamentals of parties. So we all do our parties differently, but they all should have the same structure. So the 5 fundamentals that they talked about was, the first one was get the party started, and that's pretty much like, they have, if you do the wrap jar, a sign-in table, make sure you're collecting wrap cash. Sorry, I just lost my page. Really just like inviting people and stuff like that. They mentioned having the oils running, which I think is a great idea. Like people are going to smell them when they come in. They're going to about them, it's going to give it's going to give the oils a little bit of attention in a different way. You don't even have to really talk about them as much during the party if, they're out and people are asking about them and stuff. And I don't know, some of you have been to my parties, some of you haven't. Yes, but you have to be quiet. I usually do a clipboard with like the product pamphlet and she found Karsten. And then I have the product pamphlet and the loyal customer form and the distributor form. Some people like to highlight the products that they're going to talk about. I don't, mainly because I'm lazy and it's like one more thing that I forget to do before a party. I've done it before, but I typically don't always do it. And then if I have party pads, I like to give each person a party pad. Don't feel like you have to do these things, though. These are just things that I like to do. Okay, you have to stop. You have to stop laughing. Stop. No, I'm sorry. Daddy doesn't. He must be asleep in the other room or something. I like for them to have it, but if you're new and you don't have, party pads, product pamphlets, stuff like that, don't feel like you have to do that. If you don't have a lot of that stuff, take the product pamphlets that you got in your startup kit and laminate them so that you can use them for parties, but so that people don't write on them, so that they stay nice, and so that people don't take them home. Because if you laminate them, people won't run off with them. And if you only have a few, you don't want them leaving with them. So those are a few things, as people are coming in, you can give them, like I always will give them the clipboard with everything. And then the next fundamental is the wrap room. So obviously you're going to take them, you know, get them wrapped, make sure you're taking their pictures, make sure that everybody is comfortable, and, you know, make sure they know they don't have to like totally strip down to wrap. I was sitting by Jeannie Page, and she said she walked in one time and this lady's just totally naked. Like she didn't know, you know, like, so just making sure that people know that they don't, you know, have to be totally out of their comfort zone for things like that. And then the next fundamental of the 5 was the party pad. So this is something, if you're not using the party pad for every party that you're doing, make sure that you are. When they first came out with the party pad, I wasn't sure that I really wanted to use it. I was comfortable with what I was doing, and I kind of thought it was dumb, but I soon learned that it's the more simple way, and it's way easier than what I was doing before. If you guys knew what our parties were like when we first started, you would die, because they were awful, right, Amy? They were really bad. Anyway, the thing about the party pad is that it is a very duplicatable way for you to teach your new distributors. So personally, I don't have to. Personally, I don't need the party pad to present at a party. I still use it every single time though, because for one, it gives everybody something to look at. 2, it keeps me on track and makes sure that I don't start talking about other random things. But the most important part is that it's teaching people that this is something that they can do. So whether you have a brand new distributor in the room or you have a potential in the room, it's teaching them that this is how simple it is. You know, we have our party pad notes that can walk you through it. You don't need to present at a party for anybody. Even if they're brand new and in a totally different state and you can't help them with their party, with the party pad notes that corporate's given us and the party pad, they should be able to do it. It might be really hard for them at first and it's a stretch, but that's why corporate gave us the party pad, is so that, you know, these new distributors can feel comfortable doing it. So it's a great resource for those new distributors and just for parties in general. A few of the things that they had a few different things. A few like tips that they gave was, you know, you could do kind of like a contest, like have them take a selfie and post it on Facebook, and whoever gets the most like likes or comments or whatever wins like a free product or a sample of something. You can kind of get creative with stuff like that. What else did they? Oh, and then one other thing too that they talked about was even just handing out the steps to success, or, you know, showing them the steps to success and asking them if they feel like they could fill that out. You know, if they know 4 people that would want to be customers and 3 people that would want to be distributors, if they can fill that out, they need to be a distributor. And then also, I'm trying to think what else. I think that was about it with that.
They did say that they uploaded a new party pad notes in the document.
Oh, yes. Yeah, they did. So there are new notes in there. If you don't have them in yours and you need them, they do have some new notes in your eSuite. You'll just, like, when you go to documents in eSuite, just type in party pad, and it should pull up. And then the 4th fundamental was unwrap. So, you know, go unwrap them, take their after pictures, share results with people. And then the last one is, I feel like one of the most important ones, is the secure your cell. For, you know, somebody who may be hesitant, ask them what's holding them back. It might seem like super forward and might be out of your comfort zone, but it's going to make a huge difference. It's going to make them feel more comfortable, and you'll kind of be able to get on the same page with them and figure out, you know, what it is that they need to, you know, either sign up as a distributor or a customer. Something when we first, I guess we hadn't just barely started, but I think we had been in a couple months. Quentin Conway said, you know, don't even say like, so what do you think? You know, he just would say, okay, so do you want to be a loyal customer or a distributor? you're not making them do either one of those, but you're giving them the option to do one of those. If they don't want to do it, they're going to just say, oh, I don't think I want to do either one of those. You know, they'll just tell you no, and that's okay too. But by giving them, you know, those are like almost the only two options, you know, like they're like, oh, well, maybe I want to be a loyal customer. Maybe I want to be a distributor. If they say no, it's okay too. But that's something that it took me a minute to kind of get out of my comfort zone and dare ask. But once you ask, it's really not that, you know, like you don't have to make it awkward. You know, you just say, would you like to be a loyal customer or distributor? You know, you're not saying that they can't leave unless if they sign up, even though you really don't want to let them leave until they do. But, you know, I think just making it comfortable and just really seeing where they're at instead of just being like, okay, let me know. Because that's like the worst thing possible that you could really say to them. Even though I think that's what we all say to them when they leave. And then something that they said that was really nice was, or not really nice, but something that, it's something that actually Chantel Lyons talks about a lot. She went to a party and she was just going to be a loyal customer, and her friend, you know, was hosting the party, said, you can be a loyal customer and make me money, or you can become a distributor and make yourself money. This girl is an Ambassador Diamond, and if her friend hadn't said that, she would have just been a loyal customer and never even thought about the business side of it, because in her head, she didn't think of it that way. You know, so that's something that you can, you know, you can use and say, you know, to see if you can get them to kind of see it that way. Because for some people, they don't see it as a business. They just see it as, you know, they can be a loyal customer. And make sure, something that I've realized is that not everybody, like when they're talking to somebody about the products or the business, well, mostly about the products, they don't share the business. Anytime you talk to somebody about the products, make sure that you're sharing the business too. Even if it's just, you know, well, it's $59 as a loyal customer, or for $40 more, you can become a distributor. Just make sure that you're sharing that with people, because some people don't, I mean, to me, it would seem pretty obvious that you could become a distributor, but some people don't think of it that way. And so I think making sure that you're giving them that option is great. Hey, Damon. I thought you had a kid sitting next to you until you turned it.
No, it's me. Thanks.
And then, something that they said that was kind of cool was they said, you know, you're going to want to be healthy for longer than 3 months. So why don't you may as well invest in your health by being a loyal customer. And it's true, you know, like all of our products are geared towards making people healthy. So why would they only order for 1 month? You know, if they're interested in our products, they're interested in being healthier. So it's really kind of a no-brainer. Some people still won't. They'll still buy retail. But I think by kind of helping them to see that, like, it is a better value, you know, for their health, it really makes sense. So I think that was all I had on parties. Does anybody else have anything they wanted to add that they felt was super important with the parties that they heard or learned?
I remember Cammie talking about on step 2 in the wrap room, how it was a great opportunity to start building a relationship with that person. So start talking to them about living, how their day was, and get to know them a little bit better. And that was a critical part. And then also when she was talking about the party pad on step 3, always incorporating being a DT in the different steps of the party pad, so that they've always got that in the back of their mind. And then at the end of the party, when you're introducing loyal customer or DT, they still have that in their mind.
Right. Yeah, I know I've heard her say that before too, where she says, like, she shares kind of why she joined a few different times throughout the party pad, so that it's a little bit of an easier transition, and so that's in the back of their mind the whole time. So that's something that I like too. Anything else?
They also said make sure to have everybody friend you on Facebook or Instagram or whatever, so that they can, like, even if they don't buy anything that day, they can still see things throughout and it's just easier to follow up with them as well.
Right. Yes. Anybody else have anything they wanted to add to that? No? They talked a little bit about like Facebook parties and stuff like that. One of them was saying that she does like one big team Facebook party a month, which I think is something that I'll start doing as well. And something that they actually do is they tell them they can only invite 10 people. So they have to private message them, and then once they say they want to be invited, then they invite them into the event, because on Facebook, if there's a bunch of people invited and not as many attending, Facebook actually gets flagged and they'll shut down the event. So we have to be a little bit careful about the way that we run those events. I think the online parties are great, but Facebook's kind of catching on and realizing that people are not doing it the way they should. So that's something that we'll start doing within the team. So what was I? Oh, so the next thing they talked about was the steps to success. Obviously join, everybody here has done that. With the enrolling the 4 loyal customers, a few tips that they had. One was using Facebook voice memo. I haven't used it yet. I don't feel like I'm ever where I can like hurry and talk to them without like a kid. I mean, obviously you guys just saw I had somebody climbing on me and she was supposed to be in bed like 2 hours ago. So I haven't used it yet, but they said that it's been great because it gives people that personal touch. They hear your voice, they hear your excitement. So that might be something that you guys can start trying, when you're messaging somebody, message them back using the voice memo and kind of see how it goes. And then they also said, focus on your potential instead of yourself. So instead of messaging them and saying, I need to sign 2 more, customers, or I need this, or I'm promoting to this, talk about them and focus on them, so that it's not all about us, like they probably know that we need to sign more customers or whatever, so really I think making it personal and asking them questions like what are their health goals, what's their, if they're asking you about products and stuff and you're trying to figure out what they want, ask them what their budget is. Ask them, how much they exercise, what like their eating habits are, kind of get a feel for who they are and, what their habits are so that you can recommend the best products for them. I think the biggest thing with the loyal customers is just really making sure that you're making it personal for them so that it doesn't seem like this big thing for them to become loyal with us. And a few of them gave different examples of like when they tell them the pricing. One of them said that she gives them the retail price first and then asks them, would you like a discount? And that's when she leads into the loyal customer program. Some people said that they don't even talk about the retail price. So that's something that you kind of have to decide for yourself how you want to do it. I personally think it's great for them to know the retail price so that they know how cheap they're getting it as a loyal customer. But like I said, it's totally up to you and what you feel like works. You can try different things. And then something, even once you sign them, before you sign them, you're going to want to follow up often because we're all human and we forget about stuff. I've been meaning to order from one of my friends that does a company like this that I use one of her products. I've been meaning to order for like 4 months and I keep forgetting. And they finally did a party, like a Facebook party, and they're like, hey, next 3 people who order gets this for free. Well, I ordered right then because she reminded me, So for me, it was kind of like, oh, that's how people are. Like we need to remind people like, yeah, they might want the product, but it's still in the back of their mind, So I think we need to not be as scared to follow up with people because a lot of them really just have forgotten, and some of them haven't. Some might be avoiding us, and that's okay. But follow-up is super important in this business and in signing those loyal customers. So let's see. Some of them said they like to message them like, every once in a while just to ask them like what's going on with them, you know, making small talk so that you're always on their mind and so that they don't feel like it's just a business relationship for them. You know, it really is like a friendship and that you really care, because we care about our customers and we want them to know that. So make it as personable as you can. And some of them with like, once they sign them, so they said, take these people on a journey with you. So, you know, right after they sign up as a loyal customer, they said they send out thank you cards. A couple weeks later, they check in on them, make sure that they got the products, see how they're liking them. And then like a couple months later, they check in on them, make sure they're liking the products, and then talk to them about their perk points. I think if you like shove the perk points in their face right at the beginning, they get really overwhelmed. Some people need to know about that because they're like, you know, the people who are really green need to know about the perk points and all the extra things that they're going to get. But a lot of people, they don't need that to sign up. So if they don't need that to get them signed, I wouldn't even worry about it at the beginning. Talk to them about it after, you know, they've been using the products and stuff. That'll keep them on their auto ship longer once they know about those perk points and stuff. Some of them have like loyal customer groups that they've made where they, you know, make a group on Facebook and they add their loyal customers to that group, you know, so it's kind of like a support page for their customers. That's an option that you can do. Or you can make like a Facebook list so that when you click on that list, you'll see all of your loyal customers. So you can keep in contact with them, you know, keep, you know, liking their stuff so, you know, they know that you care and kind of making it personal for them. That was about it with the loyal customers. The next one was the Go Ruby with the steps to success. And they just talked about how, you know, it is possible to go Ruby in 30 days. If you know 5 people, they can do it. So, you know, when you have new people signing up, like especially with the Ruby bonus right now, it's not totally out there to have somebody sign up today and get the $1,000 bonus this month. You know, it's going to be work. Obviously, it's not just going to like come overnight, but it's definitely something they can do. When you're launching those new distributors, make sure that you're getting their parties set up within the first couple of weeks, and really getting them going on finding those loyal customers and finding those 3 distributors. You know, getting that head start at the beginning is going to be key. And then what else? Sorry, guys. I think that, something that they said was not focusing on like using the word auto ship. You know, I think it was Ashley Olive said that she says, you know, you're going to get one product tonight, one product in March, and one product in April. The verbiage is very important because some people, you know, she was saying that for her, she wants all of her bills on auto pay so she doesn't have to worry about them. So she thought everybody else felt that way, but not everybody feels that way. So, you know, she felt like anytime she'd say auto ship, it would like scare everybody away. And I've seen that too. And I very rarely will use auto ship just for that reason. But I think, you know, not saying that you should hide the auto ship from them, but there's different ways of use to say it that's not going to scare them away. And then, they said when you see somebody that's interested, give them three reasons why they should do this business. Like the 3 examples she gave was, we have a wrap that nobody else has, because we do. We have a product that no other company has, which is pretty awesome. And then most other companies pay millions in advertising, and our company doesn't pay anything in advertising. They put that money back into us. So essentially they're paying us to advertise for them. And there are only 100,000, I think it was like 108,000 paid distributors in our company right now. And most companies like this have way more than that. You know, when people tell me that it's saturated, you think of like how many people are in your hometown. Not everybody, but most people live in a town that has more people than that, you know? So like our whole company could fit in one decent sized town. So I think just finding things like that kind of catch people's eye and make them realize that like this is, it is a good opportunity for people, and it is pretty awesome, I think is good. So does anybody have anything else they wanted to share about parties that I didn't touch on that you really liked? No.
Covered everything that I had.
So I wasn't in there when they talked about the Adventure 2.0. So I know like bits and pieces about it, but I don't know exactly what they have planned. Will one of you explain it? They can explain it better than I can. I have notes on it, but I still, I only heard like bits and pieces of it. And so I'm not sure exactly like what they had planned. Megan, do you want to talk about that for me?
Yeah, well, it sounded like, so it's separate from the 100-Day Adventure. You don't have to have done that already.
Mm-hmm.
It's just part of like the $7.99 monthly adventure support subscription.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're going to release a new guide with a new topic each month. And I think they said this first month is going to be like what to post when you're a brand new DT and how to do it thoughtfully. So it's like a guide geared more towards new people to social media.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll also give you post ideas like wording for posts. And part of the subscription, you'll also get a social media concierge. So like a person that you can live chat with for any questions that you have.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
I think that's most of it.
Cool. Thank you. I forgot that I was going to ask somebody, and then I saw that and I was like, oh crap. Because that was kind of what I had heard, but I didn't know if there was like anything else that it was really fast. Like they explained it in 2 minutes, and that was like the 2 minutes they went to the bathroom. So
well, he didn't even get on stage ever. He just did the video part.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So other than that, there were more. The rest of the stuff I kind of want to talk about aren't really like that was all kind of like nitty gritty stuff. A few things that kind of stood out to me. One of the things they said was there are two D-days in this business. The first one is the day you get started, and the second one is the day that you decide to work. So we all made the decision to start this business, but we have to make the decision to work this business. And work it like a business. They always say, if you want this business to pay you like a business, you have to work it like a business. And it's true, because I've seen it. I've been in for 3.5 years now, and I've seen when I work hard, my paycheck shows it. When I don't work hard, my paycheck shows it. So, even with thousands of people under me, my paycheck is a direct reflection of what I'm doing. And it's going to be the same for all of you too. So really, it all boils down to you deciding that you're going to make this work for you, and you're going to work it. Something that Pam always says, and if you haven't heard Pam talk before, the next time you hear her talk, you're going to hear her say it, and she's going to tell you to get over yourself. Amy will tell you that when we first started, that it did it hurt your feelings? Now I can't remember how you used to say it.
It didn't really hurt my feelings. I just thought it was rude.
Mm-hmm.
I just took it as they were like, oh, get over yourself. Also, I didn't understand the true meaning of it.
Yeah. And for me, I feel I don't know that I ever thought anything of it, but when I think back to when we started, I did have to get over myself to be where I'm at in this business. I had to quit worrying about what everybody thought of me, which is still hard for me. I still have people that, after 3.5 years still don't think that what I do is legit and whatever. But we really just have to push past those insecurities. And if you have to, fake it until you make it. Because there's been a lot of times that I've done things that I were super out of my comfort zone, but I had to push past it and really just get over myself. And make it happen. They also said whoever wraps the most people makes the most money. So I think for me, at least, being in this business for a while, I don't wrap a lot of people individually. And when they said that, I was like, I need to start wrapping more people so I can start making more money. Because it's true. You get that wrap on people and they're going to want to buy it. They're going to want to become distributors and they're going to want to become customers. We need to remember, the fundamentals of wrapping people and getting that wrap on people. Because even if they're only interested in the business, if you get that wrap on them, they're going to want to join the business. For me, I wasn't interested in the business at all. But once I tried the wrap and loved my results, I decided I did want to be interested in the business. So wrapping people is super important. What else did they say? My notes now are like all over the place. But something that Denise Walsh, her part in this was amazing. So if you can, look up Denise Walsh Black Diamond, and I'm sure, I haven't found it. I'll try and find it and post it on our page, because her speech was like amazing. Don't you guys think? It was like, I don't know, maybe I just really needed to hear what she said. But something that she said that I really liked was, don't work this business based on how you feel. Work this business based on what you want. We all have bad days. We all have good days. Sometimes we feel like crap. Sometimes we feel great. But I think that's what's going to set us apart in this business and help us be successful, is knowing when, we have to push past life and what's going on, whether we're having troubles at home, with our family, with work, whatever it is, just deciding to push past that and not let it get in our way. Whether we need to wake up an hour earlier, stay up an hour later, finding a way to work this business, even if you really, really don't want to. And I can't remember if it was her that talked about it or somebody else that talked about it, but they talked about saying yes. Those days that you don't want to go to a wrap party or you don't want to go to a wrap appointment and you are like secretly hoping that they'll cancel so you can just stay home. Those are the days that we need to say yes, and that we need to, when you're at the store and you feel like you need to blitz somebody, that's when we need to say yes. They said, we need to start saying yes more and stop saying no. Because those no's that we're giving ourselves are holding us back. And something that she said was, love destroys fear. And I don't know. Not sure how in my head, it's more just for a life thing. I just thought that was really cool. Oh, and one analogy that she gave was, she said, if somebody sent you this letter and said, they sent you a letter and said, if you don't get to this rank this month, you are going to lose this person in your life. I can't remember exactly how she said it, but basically, like, if she was putting it in terms for me, it would be, if you don't get to ambassador this month, you're never going to see this person, whether it's like your mom, your dad, whoever it was. Would you work this business? And at first I was like, that's kind of an extreme, analogy. But when you sit down and you think about it, I was sitting next to Ashley Hughes at the time, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I want to cry just knowing, like, if you know her story, she lost her baby a couple years ago. And for me, it kind of hit me like, yeah, I would work as hard as I could. And I think we all kind of need to have that mentality, that, we need to work it as hard as we can to reach those goals that we have set for ourselves, because nobody can make us. Obviously, nobody's going to send us a letter like that, but we can give ourselves that mental push to get there. And then she just talked about how, if it, in that same, sense, she talked about how if it's important to you, you'll make it work. And it's true. Sometimes I have a really hard time talking to some team members because I hear a lot of excuses as to why they're not working this business, or, why this isn't working for them, or why they're not where they want to be or whatever. And then I see other people who have way more excuses, but I've never heard them out of their mouth. They push past them and they make it work. because we really, I mean, I posted about it yesterday, but we all have struggles in life. Whether you know about them or not, we all do. You know, some of us don't have great health. Some of us have, you know, mental setbacks. That didn't sound right. Some of us are, you know, have gone through pregnancies. I know how hard it is to work this business when you're pregnant. It sucks. And I'll say that it was an excuse for a long time. And, you know, like we all have different things that we're battling. I'm sure every single person on here could give an excuse as to why they shouldn't work this business, or as to why, you know, maybe they didn't do something in their business today. And I think for us, the biggest thing is going to be pushing past those excuses even when we don't want to, you know. It'd be much easier to just sit on the couch and do nothing, right? But it's not going to get us any closer to our goal. So I think that, for me, I think that was the biggest thing that I really thought about. And then something with Mark. I didn't write any notes with Mark because everything was like so big. So everybody needs to go and YouTube Mark's ending thing and watch it for yourselves. But I didn't write any notes down, so I'm like trying to remember what he even said. I remember how I felt, and that's all that's important for me. But they talked about fear, and, you know, most people think of fear as forget everything and run. But in It Works, we think of it as forget everything or face everything and rise. And, you know, they talked a lot about, you know, rising higher this year and really just pushing past the naysayers. He said that we need to be on the offense instead of the defense this year, and, you know, really just pushing past that and not letting those people get into us. You know, we shouldn't feel like we need to defend ourselves against them, because what we have is amazing and there's no reason that we should have to. There's still going to be people that don't believe in us and, you know, don't want us to be successful, but we have this awesome group of support, and we need to lean on each other for that and just keep pushing, because it will be worth it if we do. I've seen it. I mean, in the last 3.5 years, I've seen amazing things happen just for me, and I'm not done. There's still more that I need to see, and every single one of you are part of that plan. I love being able to see you guys reach your goals, and I love being able to help you reach your goals too. So we really just need to depend on each other more. Find an accountability partner that you can, you know, tell, you know, that that's gonna make you work. If you need that, you know, find what's gonna work for you and help you push past any of those insecurities or problems that you have. So that was kind of all that I had. Does anybody else that went have anything that really stood out to them that they wanted to share, an aha moment that they want everybody to hear?
Nope.
I know you all have one because I've already heard them, so you might as well share them.
Who said it, but they said, like, they know they need to get so many no's before they're going to get a yes, so they just like try kind of a thing. Like, you've got to get quite a few no's before you're going to get one yes, but it's just like part of the process, so not to get discouraged by the no's because they get you that much closer to a yes.
Yeah, it's true. Anybody else?
Well, Pam had like a whole section on mom guilt.
Oh yeah.
Which I think we can all relate to. And I mean, there wasn't anything like, you know, this is how you should be working your business every day, but it is just like, there's no right way or wrong way. You know, it is a business. You are a work at home mom or whatever, you know. And that it is worth it in the end because you're building something that they can be proud of. And one tip that I thought was really good was like set a timer and like, you know, mom's going to work for 15 minutes or half hour or whatever. And when this timer goes off, we're going to have ice cream or we're going to, you know, play with these toys or whatever. So it's kind of more, more tangible for the kids to realize what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. I like that. Anybody else?
I think for me, what I enjoyed the most was seeing all these wonderful ambassadors and people who have made it all this way. And they're all different. They all have different personalities, different experiences, different ages. And it was just kind of reassuring and another testament to me that any of us really can get to that point.
Right.
It doesn't matter what our personality is like. It doesn't matter what experiences we've been through or how much we have had or don't have. We're all capable of reaching that exact same point. And that was super, super inspirational for me.
Mm-hmm. Amy, do you have anything you wanted to add?
You guys have already took all of mine. On that conference, my biggest one was just to say yes to things and stop saying no. I think I use my kids all the time as an excuse, like, oh, I'm busy with this that they're doing or that. And so I use them as an excuse instead of focusing on why I'm doing the business, which is for them. So that was my big thing, is to stop saying no and say yes more often. But I like to, like Julie and Casey said, I just love going back there and seeing everybody and how different everybody is. You have every different kind of person and they're successful, so there's no cookie cutter mold that anybody has to fit in. You can be yourself and still be successful at this business.
Right.
In fact, that's what I went away with, is more than ever, is that I just need to remain true to myself, and I need to be me and do things my way and the way that I do things best, and not worry about trying to do things other people's way. I think it reassured me even more, just that I am who I am and I can do things my way and still be successful.
Right.
And on that too, they said you do want to be true to yourself so that the people that know you say, if they can do this, then I can too. You do want to look ordinary so that it does seem real.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Well, thanks, guys. Does anybody have any questions before we end? Sorry, it's kind of longer than I was planning, but I guess there was a lot of material to cover. Does anybody have any questions or comments or anything they want to share? No? Okay, well, thank you all for jumping on. And we're going to start doing these more often, just because I like being able to see all of you guys. Even if you don't talk, it's okay. And I think it's a good way to connect, especially those of you who are out of state. I want to be able to connect better with you guys and help you guys out as much as possible. So we'll start doing these at least once a month, if not more. And then, just keep an eye on our Ultimate Body Workers page, and we'll just announce everything on there. So anyway, thank you guys all for jumping on, and we'll talk to you guys later. Night.
Yeah.